If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. What if Utopia never comes out? What if it never drops? Travis is under, I don't want to say a lot of pressure, but under a lot of anticipation to drop his new project. And it seems like fans are already considering the possibility that it is not coming out. At least that's what I found on the subreddit. Let's look into this and let's break down all the evidence. So I was just browsing on the, Travis subreddit, just trying to find some. Maybe there's a new leak. Maybe there's a new hint here or there for Utopia. And I came across this one post that I thought was very interesting, and that I was like, let's look at what people also said about this. And I want to present y'all the post real quick. The post reads, "What if Utopia isn't released?" And it reads, "I wouldn't be surprised. This motherfucker Travis completely blueballed us this year, and I feel like he won't hesitate again. He has over 40 million listeners on Spotify with just the release off a few decent features and singles, so he clearly doesn't need a listening boost. His shoes are about to go mad," referring to the Black Phantoms, "and make him insane revenue. He can keep the same track lists at concert and make insane bank. He has 2 kids that need to take care of. He has a billionaire baby mama and can realistically live comfortably for the rest of his life without an album release. Because let's be real, if any of us had these levels of blessings, we wouldn't feel the need to do shit either. Can't disrespect his grind to where he is, but it is what it is if this is the reason he ain't released." And as soon as I read this, I disagreed with a lot of things immediately. Because first of all, it isn't blessings. He worked very hard to get there. That was kind of the first thing I was like, nah, man, I respect Travis so much for putting in the work, getting there. But another thing is 40 million listeners off of just a few, features and singles. That may be true. Those features and singles were pretty dope, though. I recently dropped a video just 2 days ago. If Travis Scott ever missed on any of his features last year, so this year basically, which I really recommend you go check out after this video. Great video going over all the features. And I feel like the argument about, his shoes about to make him a lot of money, that is temporarily, and also him being able to keep the same track list is also very short term, because you need to release new music. Travis needs to put out new songs that fans can go crazy to have a long-term career, even if he already does it at that point. But if he still wants to continue growing 5 years from now, he needs to put out new music. And also, obviously, there's a big part about him also wanting to put out music. It's not like he's only doing this for the money. That is a big part of it, obviously. But as I said, at this point, he could just retire. So anything he does, forward from this point also does have some sort of special meaning to him. Before we get into the evidence, if Utopia is actually coming out and what speaks against this, I want to read y'all 2 comments that people also commented. The first one being, "The label will want an album. Plus, you think he would be making music because he enjoys it and enjoys people listening to his music." Exactly the second point that I just said. And also the label wanting the music. I saw a lot of people saying, well, doesn't Travis own Cactus Jack? Yes, he does, but that's still a deal with Interscope. And obviously, he also has a lot of responsibility for carrying that record label and in, subsequent terms, being able for the success of the signees. So we're talking about Sheck West, about Don Toliver, about Sofago, and so on. Another person commented on the "What if Utopia never releases" post and said, "I don't understand why he can't just release 2 songs, like when he released Wonderful and A-Team, High Fashion and Nothing But Net, Lens Remix, etc. His hype is not just gonna hit if he just announces the album. If he releases to tease and give what to expect on the album." So here he's saying he should release 2 singles to get people hyped up for the album, because the hype is not just gonna be there automatically once he announces the record, which I disagree with. I believe that if, Travis did announce a new album and it's dropping in 2 weeks, whatever, people would go crazy, so there definitely would be hype. But he did kind of do that with the Dystopia pack we got last November. November 5th, y'all remember? My birthday, but also the day that the Astroworld Festival, thing happened. And he did release Escape Plan and Mafia. And maybe because of the Astroworld Festival events, he wanted to release, Utopia soon after that. But then it just didn't come that way because he had to do a lot of, kind of going back from the limelight after the incidents that happened. Now, let me be clear. I still think that Utopia is coming out, and there are a couple of good reasons for this. Because first of all, I recently also dropped a video going over a new theory about this thing dropping, in which we talked about, him praising, for example, Björk as one of his, big inspirations. And there was a theory that, this Utopia record from Travis would drop in November, end of November 24th, around there, which was the same day that Björk also dropped her, Utopia record. So if he's already saying like this is a big inspiration, he could drop it the same day. That never happened. We still have the Zoop nightclub shows that are somehow now not upcoming, but we still have a couple of them remaining. We got a couple of leaks from the first two that happened in September and October, but so far no other ones have been announced. Maybe he's waiting until next year to announce that run going forward. That will lead into the release of Utopia. Now, gotta be real, when we got the announcement for the Zook nightclub shows, and we were like, the first one is coming in September, the second one is coming in October, and we kind of calculated forward, we're like, okay, if this keeps going at this pace, we would get Utopia, if he does a show a month, we would get Utopia in like March or April, and we were like, nah, that's way too far in the future, we believe we're going to get it earlier. We got the Billboard signs, we got stuff like that, so still there were hints that something was coming. But now, honestly, if this thing drops March or April, I'll actually be happy. I would be happy. I'm more seeing next summer. I'm more seeing May, June, July, something like that. And we've been talking about Utopia for such a long time that, of course, fans are considering the possibility that it isn't dropping at all, just like this guy is doing right here. As he said, he blue-balled us. He blue-balled us for so long. We got like hints. We got like, a couple of things here and there. He added this to his bio, then removed it again, did shit like that. We never got it. I still think that Utopia is coming. If he doesn't capitalize off of the hype of it, he would just be, playing a huge opportunity that he got. I don't think, it's at that point already where it will not satisfy anyone's expectations. Utopia will be, for the first month, probably a disappointment to a lot of fans because they have made up their own mind of what this album is going to be, what the leaks were sounding like, what they want the album to be. It's not going to be like that. That is the case with every big album that is dropping. We've had it happen with Mr. Morale this year, for example. Whole Lotta Red being another big example. Eternal Take, just to kind of recount those big, albums that, artists have had. Utopia being very much in that same category as well. Well, I do think it's coming. I actually don't think it's coming that soon. I actually think that maybe we'll get, like, as he said, as the other person said, like 2 singles before, something like a light 2-3 pack in like December, still end of December, January, February, something like that. And then we get the entire album, likely summer 2023. That is my expectation, just off of a feeling that I've developed of just covering Utopia over the past, like, what has it been now? 2-3 years, ever since we first got the first announcements. I mean, it was probably right after Astroworld, but then it really started picking back up after he hadn't dropped an album in like 2 years, 3 years. Now it's more than 4 years. It's been almost 4.5 years ever since Astroworld dropped. So that's pretty crazy. We talk about like Kendrick not dropping for 5 years. We talk about SZA not dropping for 5 years. Absol just announced the album, the first one in 6 years. It's already been 4.5 since Astroworld dropped. So it's like, he's getting there. He's getting to the point where it's like Travis Scott finally dropped an album after 5 years, which is crazy to me because we've just been talking about Utopia for such a long time. Anyway, I don't want to say Utopia isn't coming. It's nice to consider the possibility, though, and I do want to commend this guy, even though I disagree with him on a lot of things. I want to say thank you for even putting that in the room. Thank you for putting out that thought, because just, talking about this, we can kind of come together as a community and talk about what we hope from the album when we think it is, coming out. And so just putting out the thought of like, what if it never releases is very interesting and definitely food for thought. But now I want to know what y'all think about this, though. Y'all heard my take. Now I want to know what you think about this. Do you think Utopia is actually not coming out still? Do you think it's actually coming out sooner or later than we think? What are you hoping? What are your expectations? All of your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.